could feel that, even from the outside looking in, could feel that there was sort of a transition going on, as you mentioned, Nate, with, the Rick James thing, at that time in the mid 80s. And Reflections came out, which was a compilation album, but it did have one killer track in 17. That was a really good funk track on that. But it seemed like, the star was fading. Things were starting to, come apart a little bit. What can you tell me about that period? About, what did it feel like to see it sort of starting to dissipate? And, how close were you to Rick during that time? And was it just all, substance related, or were there other things going on with like politics in the record company, or what was happening?
It was politics with the record company.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, it was really getting to Rick, and and then Rick's demons had a part of it, and it just got worse. He got more isolated from the band. He wouldn't be around the band as much. We'll be in the studio without Rick, and he wouldn't come in the studio until we were gone. It was real strange at that time.
Do you think part of it was just a reaction to getting that level of fame, that it's just kind of hard to deal with that sometimes?
No, I think it was other things.
Yeah,
that made it. Wasn't the fame. He could handle that. He was pretty much, around friends.
Yeah.
All that, being up top like that, the level where he was at, he was among his friends that he, grew up with and had, a relationship, a working relationship with all the stars at that level at that time. I think it was other things besides, what he was going through.
Yeah, I just think he was going through a lot of personal things. He was pressured to do certain things, and he wasn't used to being pressured. He just dealt with it his own way. He kept everything from us.
Do you think he also maybe spread himself out a little too thinly with so many protege acts and doing maybe too much?
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, that had nothing to do with it. No. Nothing at all.
Well, as a music fan, it was a shame for sure. Just when Glow and Wonderful came out, they just didn't have the same level of consistency. They didn't hit as hard on the funk tracks. Lucy's Rap was like one exception that still, was pretty funky and had the rap incorporated. And then there was an album in the late 80s that I didn't even know until fairly recently was shelved, I guess, called Kickin'. Were you guys still involved then, or, when did you kind of go your separate ways?
We left Rick around 85. He was going through his thing with Motown, and they froze all the money, so he couldn't pay the band. So the guys had to survive, and they eventually just split, going different ways. We eventually ended up doing New Edition's Heartbreak Tour with Stone City Band's rhythm section. The man called Lanny, Michael Bivens. He called Lanny, and asked if we would audition, because they used to open up for Rick when they were like 10 years old. They were like just a young guys doing a dancer group. They were a dance group. So that connection happened right there. We auditioned for them. We ended up doing a Heartbreak Tour, and then some of us ended up breaking off, and that was 88. 89, we hooked up with Bobby Brown when he went solo, and we did Bobby Brown's biggest tours, which was you know, 89 to 95. You know, we went around the world twice.
So you guys were playing My Prerogative?
No, that was, well, we played that on tour. We didn't play on the album. I
Right.
played on the Humping Around album.
I bet you guys were hitting it on My Prerogative. I can imagine you guys
Well,
must
yes, a lot of clips on YouTube.
So when you were off doing your own thing, how much were you sort of keeping tabs on what was going on with Rick and that whole situation?
Well, I used to like call some of the guys, security and whatnot, because Rick, he wouldn't answer no calls. So, you know, I would just connect with security or, you know, talk to his brother, Roy, you know, ask how he was doing or whatever, you know. And they would let me know if they saw him or if he was in town or whatever. You know, I just kept tabs on him that way. He actually blamed New Edition. You know, they stole his band. New Edition is still the band. It's just the band, you know.
I didn't know those young guys were so diabolical. They seem like clean nosed kids. I didn't know.